Hi, my name is Javs, also known as Javatronia. I'm a licensed hairstylist, freelance photographer and videographer, as well a mother. Recently, I was introduced to the world of toy collecting, and here I will share with you my journey and exploration into the world of action figures, not only as a collector and consumer, as well a passionate new fan. Hello, Javatronia 1 here, ready to review our 2014 Predaking Voyager Class. Really excited. His release is due in about a month, and I'm very excited for everybody to be able to see him. He is cool. He is just outright very cool looking. I love all of his armor, all of the edginess, the rough, spiky look, his wings. He looks like a dragon, even in robot mode. And for a size comparison, I have our Deluxe Class Knockout, also from Prime, and the Optimus Prime Voyager Class First Edition. So he is a little bit taller than the other ones, but here you can see how huge Predaking is. As a Voyager class, I mean, he just towers over Optimus, but he is a dragon, so I would expect that. And onto his accessories, he has a blaster weapon here with a missile. There isn't any trigger that I've noticed that fires the missile other than using your hand. You can put that in his hand there. And then his almighty Infernium blade. Pretty awesome. I love the scaling of the back of the blade. Lots of cool detail, etching of the ancient Predacon symbols. And if you don't want to have his blade displayed, I found a really neat way to secure it on his back. So here his neck, there's a nice little V there. And with his head, we're going to bring that all the way up so it looks like it's pointing straight out from him. And then here on his scale, we're going to hook that in and rest his blade between his like dragon teeth there sticking out. And then you're going to drop his head. And it kind of locks it in there, nice and tight down here. So now you could shake him and move him and he's not going to lose it. So it's pretty awesome. So there he is, fully loaded, all his weapons. And articulation. His head here rotates back and forth. There is no tilting, so he's very stiff in the neck. Shoulders rotate forward and back, and rotate out and down. There's no swivel at the shoulder. Elbow swivels and bends back and forth. There is no wrist action. It's very stiff. In the waist, there's no rotating. Up here at the waist, at the hip, we can go back and forth and in and out. Knee can go back and forward and it rotates. And his foot, his toes can go down. There is no heel movement. So there we have him in his almighty robot mode. I would not want to face him in battle. I would just run and scream like a girl. Oh wait, oh, I am a girl. Alright, so let's transform this guy. Put his accessories to the side. First thing, we're going to spin his head around, and we're going to bring his hands and elbows forward, and then you drop back, you push back down here for his claws. And then shoulders up. And we're bringing his head down forward. It's half the work. Pretty easy. Or pretty simple. Which is nice because my kids will not be too confused. They won't want to try to pry things and push and pull and break something. It's pretty simple. So in the back here, we're going to rotate these legs out. Point his toes down. And then his knees are very stiff ratchet joints. So you're going to bring that all the way forward And there's a tab right here at the top of the toe, and the little holes are down here on the back of his leg, or on the back of his butt. You're going to tab that in, and if you give it just one more good push, you'll hear that last click. Same thing with this side. Tab that in, and give it one last good push for that last click, and position his legs down. We're almost there. Super simple. Pretty much it's just his arms and his legs like folding. And then for his tail, the last thing, there's these two little spots here. It's going to tab in right there. There's one on each side. So you have two options. They say that in the instructions that you're going to tab it in this way, but I kind of like it this way. Seems more proper. This looks like the scaling of the back of a dragon. So that's the way I'm going to put it in, because that's the way it seems like it should be. But it's up to you. Personal preference. To each his own. And then the last fitting for accessories, whoa, I didn't say sit, would be his blaster. Fits right on top of his blade there. Pointing backwards seems more appropriate, so you can get anybody that's coming up behind him. So there he is. Dragon mode. We could bring his wings down, kind of spread them out a little bit further to a full spread. Looks pretty awesome. I like him a lot. He's amazing looking. I love how his wings here are kind of see-through, and he looks very fierce and scary. Articulation in dragon mode would be his head can move down just a little bit and all the way up. Kind of disappointed his mouth doesn't open, just kind of chills there. So I'm hoping we can do some sort of modification, or they will modify that. And then his tail moves up and down. And his legs, the front legs are just like in robot mode where he has the shoulder movement, you know, forward, and then you can rotate it out and swivel his legs in and out. And then back would just be back and forth, and then there is a little folding inward available, which I think honestly, if you're going to play with it, or if your children are going to play with it, would be more appropriate for flying or flight mode, which would be pretty cool. So bringing his head up, his tail down, and then you can fold these hind legs in and bring them back, and same thing with his front legs here, and then pointing them kind of inward so it looks like he's flying. I wish there was fire that came out. Red little light would be fun. All in all, he's really cool looking. I love to see him on my shelf. He just makes it that much more like beastie and fierce, and I don't know. It's kind of scary, but I love him. Though his transformation is really simple, like I said, I think it's great. He's very stiff, so the kids aren't going to just, you know, rough around, pulling and twisting at his joints, and he's simple enough they're not going to be going crazy trying to figure out what to do. Sometimes I think for children, these figures are made not for children, but for adults. And with children, it's easy for them to break or not figure it out. So this is really nice for that. And overall, I think he looks great in both modes. You know, there isn't really taken away from his robot mode to his dragon mode. He looks just as mean and angry and ready to get at you. You know, I think retail-wise, he's worth about $20 to $25. I really wouldn't pay much more for that. Anything higher, I don't know, it's just too much. Given that, he's gonna look amazing with the other Predacon figures up there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while we review Predaking Voyager Class 2014. Again, he releases in about a month, so I'm excited to see what everybody thinks about him. Yeah, I'm really excited. Enjoy your toys, because they can always be taken away. This is Javatronia signing out.